There we are. All right, we're already doing much, much better than this, I guess, midday. Noon on the dot is when I was very late. Yeah, I did my first live stream since, I think, January, definitely before we resumed the work year. Dr. Christian Von Fromm here on Kids from the Crypt. Very happy to be back. It's been a long 4 months, hasn't it? But I've been making some moves here. I left my staff job so that I could go freelance and have some more flexibility in which to pursue my monster-making endeavors down here in my creepy basement laboratory. Today, we're going to be painting a rare, tiny little guy. This is the Metaluna Mutant, as they pronounce it, in This Island Earth, which was a Universal monster movie when Universal started to dabble into the sci-fi genre that was burgeoning in the 1950s. I grew up knowing this character design because I had a figure when they started making high-end monster figures for collectors in the late 90s. A figure of the Metaluna Mutant. And it's a cool creature design. In fact, it inspired the Mars Attacks Martian, which is why I got this t-shirt on, and I got the old film score playing from Mars Attacks. One of Daniel Elfman's most underrated and bombastic scores. So much theremin and pipe organ, and that's right where I live. Yes. So, sorry, zoned out there. This guy is from a boxed set that my father gifted me, made by Bandai, and I think these were given out as vending machine prizes. They're all unpainted. I've seen them painted. They're very hard to find, apparently. And I've painted definitely 8 to 10 of these guys. And the tradition that I have, because they're great little painting exercises, they don't take long to do if you focus on what you're doing and trap yourself with a live audience. That'll do the trick. But I would reach into the box blind, and whatever the first one that I touched was, that's what I would paint next. So there's been no order to it. And it's funny as I've tried out different styles. You know, you can, I have the Frankenstein monster and the Bride of Frankenstein. And I did them years apart, and one was kind of grounded kind of color choices, which was the monster, and then the bride was like bright neon. Actually, I kind of presciently used a similar color palette to her look in The Bride, the movie that just came out. But I can't claim credit for that. It was just sheer luck and happenstance. But to show you one of these previous ones that I've painted, this is Mr. Barlow from Salem's Lot, as played by Reggie Nalder in the 1979 miniseries. So we have a bunch of these little guys, and eventually I'll have them all painted, and I'll put them in a shadow box somewhere in our breakfast nook. We don't have a breakfast nook. I just wanted to say the words breakfast nook, wouldn't you? Why don't we move over to the other camera setup? And here we are. Here's our mutant. I'll try to remember to look over and show you real up close, because he's a little guy, how the progress is going. You'll notice here, this is my buddy Jack, who I put in the thumbnail for scale. He didn't have eyes at the time, but I decided to keep him around because I really like using my buddy Jack here to show scale. If you wonder why I keep calling this coin Jack, it's because that's Jack Nickel, son. I was working on that one all night. So, I think we're going to just start going here. I've been getting a lot of miniature painting video tutorials in my feed, in my algorithm. And that's a whole different skill set and technique. And one that I've wanted to borrow from, and I figured this guy counts as a miniature, wouldn't you say? Let's see if we can get this cork to work. It wasn't really cooperating, this sticky tack, on the last thing I was working on. But let's see. Let's just see. What is that from? It's The Office, when Jim and Pam are officially dating, and they volunteer to go on the record with it, and Toby is just saying, like, let's just see. Let's just wait and see what happens. Because he doesn't want to accept that Pam is not with him. All right, here we go. Boom! Just like that, I've ruined the value of this rare little tchotchke. It would be super cool to finish this up in one session tonight. I've had such just like a backlog of creative energy. And I've been posting some more things to the channel, and I've been getting more active on Instagram. Oh, look who's here! Guys, my mom showed up. I say guys, I now know that I'm only addressing you, Ma. And look, Mom, I found the cork that I lost in that one stream. Not in a stream, during a live stream. I don't know why I keep looking up at this camera. That's not my face camera. My face camera is the one right in front of me with my face on it. A doofus. That's what you call a guy like that. Anyway, I started talking about the miniature demos that I've been getting on Instagram. And there's a technique that I've dabbled in, but now I've seen many more tutorials on how to do it. And I bought the right kind of makeup sponge, this little egg guy, where the theory is you paint a mini black, entirely black, or you spray it with black primer, which would be quicker, but I never do things quick, nor easy, nor correct. Nor correctly? I don't know. Any English teachers in the chat? Anyway, as I was saying, the theory is you paint the mini entirely black, and then you apply in thin layers with the makeup sponge white, instead of dry brushing, which would look really scratchy on something this scale, which is how I've done it in the past. But now we're going to try it with the sponge method. All right, that looks like one successful coat. I'm not going to clean the brush just yet. Hairdryer noise incoming! All right. Not completely dried through, but that's okay. I think we're dry enough to go for a second coat. Let's get Master Barlow out of here so he doesn't get paint on him, because this boy's been done for years. See, as I've always loved this creature design, and like I said, I had a very cool display figure of him. And then I finally bought the movie when I was trying to catch up on my classic sci-fi and monster movies. I would try to bring home a couple discs every time I went to Chiller Theater. And I watched it, and this dude doesn't show up until like the last 20 minutes, it feels like. Most of the aliens are guys with just really big rectangular foreheads. And I was wondering if it was going to be like Mars Attacks, where it was going to turn out it was these guys with masks on. No, this is just like the drone slave race that these intelligent humanoid aliens like employ or something. I've only seen it once. But I was kind of let down. The creature design was kind of the best thing about it. And on top of it all, on top of all of that, they pronounce it mutant. Although, I don't know, this was the 1950s. That was probably a new word, and I don't know, like I remember a friend telling me how the proper original pronunciation of robot is robot. So maybe it was mutant. I did hear mutant somewhere else recently. All right. Get that hair dryer. Yeah. Okay. Now we get to try our little experimental technique. It's not experimental, it's well documented. It's just new to me. Before I do that, I just caught one little white spot. Get out of there. Out dingus spot. That's what Shakespeare says. I'm a mess. I was at the store today. I thought about grabbing a pack of nice black nitrile gloves to protect the pieces I'm working on from the oils of my skin and fingerprints and wet paint and so forth. And I thought, nah. All right, I'm stalling. I'm intimidated, folks. Just going with a warm white. Gosh, dang it. It's all chunky. But it sounded moist inside. Let's see. Before I give that the treatment, do we have any other kind of neutral whites? I don't want bleached sand. That's a little bit yellow. There we go. Wicker white. It's Wicker, baby. It's a Wicker wonderland. 5 points to anyone who knows what that's from. See, please don't be dry and chunky. Perfect. Okay. All right. Just use a little bit right now. Okay. Go like that. Trying to get it all even. Good. I don't know. Here we go. Okay, I could probably use more. But good to know, rather than start with too little than too much. All right, I'm gonna dump this in a little bit of water. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's something. I've interrupted myself explaining the theory, and I'm sure many of you already know where this is going, but you sponge on the white so that you have your highlights, your black and white values, and then you use washes or contrast paint to apply color. Okay. Obey me, sticky cork. All right, let's get a little more on there. There we go. See that? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Come on. This sticky tack is for the ghouls. That's my spooky version of For the Birds. Although birds can be spooky. I'm not even talking about Hitchcock. You ever met a Canadian goose? Jeez. Oh, the worst. Worse than geese. Because geese are jerks. But I probably shouldn't be telling you this. I have a deep-seated, phobic fear of turkeys. And recently my wife was working in the front garden, and I was finishing up work, and we were going to go on a walk together. And she said, "Oh, I'm glad you're coming out now. You just missed your least favorite animal walking down the street." And I didn't even have to ask what animal it could be, because I love animals. So we went in the opposite direction of where she saw the turkey headed. And then we get back to the house, and she wants to tell me about some landscaping plans. And we get to the driveway, and she says, "Okay, so stop." She says, "On the right." And I go, "Where is it?" Thinking that she's trying to warn me that the turkey's coming back. And she said, "No, on the right is where I'm going to rip up the flower bed." And I just showed myself for the coward that I am. All right, get out of there, sticky tack. So check it out. That's something. That's definitely something to work with. I like it. Let's try to get a little more there. All right. Now let me just dunk the sponge in a little bit of water, because I want to get some use out of this. I don't know how long-term they're meant to be, but they only sold them in packs of 1 or 2 at the grocery store. Now, gotta make some decisions here, and I've already made a few, because what I'm gonna switch it up, what I'm gonna pull on you folks switching it up is not going with the original color palette. This guy, and I can pull up some pictures when I edit this down, has a blue and red kind of color palette where he's like a bluish teal body with the red veins and eyes and facial features. And you can't really, it's hard to tell on this little guy, but he wears pants. He's got these big lobster claws and this huge carapace of a shoulder girdle and this giant brain. And he wears pants. No shoes. He's like Zoidberg. Oh, I should paint him look like Zoidberg. No, I already got my idea. And here's what my idea is. And we're going way back into deep-seated childhood memories. But my downstairs neighbors at the condo where I grew up had a very common monster mask, just like store-bought monster alien mask that had these thick forehead veins and like a big bulbous head. And this was right around the time that they released Wild Berry Pop-Tarts, circa 1995 or so. And when I saw Wild Berry Pop-Tarts, in fact, I have some right at hand. I saw these and I'm like, oh, those look like the alien veins on Alex and Sammy's mask. I remember their names. And every time I've eaten Wild Berry Pop-Tarts since, I feel like I'm biting into that alien mask. That makes it sound like that's the attraction for me. They're very yummy. They're one of my favorite Pop-Tart flavors. I have desperately tried to find a picture of that monster mask. I just search eBay, just like vintage alien mask 1990s. And I found something kind of like it once where the color scheme was like a peach flesh tone, but with purple veins. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to paint the Martian alien Metaluna Mutant to look like a Wild Berry Pop-Tart. And you know what else? I'm going to eat some wild berry Pop-Tarts. Okay. But also, this will help to have a color reference right at hand. I already know. Where's my little wash tray? Here we are. I think I want to start with Rich Periwinkle. Rich Periwinkle. I used this in my last stream and commented that, like, oh, that sounds like some vice principal's name. Vice Principal Rich Periwinkle. Yeah, look at that. That's now we know. Wild berry Pop-Tart. It's not quite a Rich Periwinkle. It's a little more purple than blue. But we're going to start with this. All right, but here we go. I'm going to put this away from the paint. It's bad enough that I almost dunk my brush in my drinking water every time. All right. Got to find a good wash brush. I like my tiny pliers here. They were regular and I washed them in the hot water. Oh, hello, M-Frame! Wake up, Dr. Meacham. Dr. Meacham, that one escapes me, Jack. Oh, in fact, this Jack character I'm talking to is the very person who introduced me to this technique. And I've experimented with it. What you missed, Jack, is that I, for the first time, applied the white coat with a makeup egg sponge instead of dry brushing, which does achieve a much cleaner effect. So yeah, looking ahead, we're going to just layer on this Rich Periwinkle wash, and we're going to go back and hit those smaller details with a teal to produce the Wild Berry Pop-Tart color palette, which is what I call it whenever I see anything that is teal and purple. Like, I have gym outfits that my wife will see me and she's like, oh, you're a Wild Berry Pop-Tart today. Like, if I have like purple basketball shorts and my blue Predator tank top, because you got to specify, because I do have multiple Predator tank tops. Where was I going with this? I refer to that color palette as Wild Berry Pop-Tart. And I told this to a coworker friend one time, and she said, oh, or, you know, Charlotte Hornets is what I think when I see those colors. And my nerd ass asked, who is she? I assumed Charlotte Hornets was like a punk singer. It's one of the sports ball teams. They got me again. Wild Berry Pop-Tart was my nickname in high school. It was one of the names I danced under when I was tabling at the Donut Hole. On weekends, I went out as Honey Mustard. Honey Mustard always wore a little waitress skirt number. I don't know what the riff is. Both my parents are on this stream. This is the bit of music where Lisa Marie is the Martian disguised as a pretty lady who's constantly chewing gum so that she can breathe our atmosphere. All right, got that. He's always looking. Focus. Yeah, I want to layer up on that. No, come on. Oh yeah, and she did the Martian lady seduces Martin Short. This movie was a cast of thousands, and it tanked. Because it came out the same year as, same summer as Independence Day. And people thought it was going to be another, like, competing epic alien action movie. And it's like, no, we're adapting a trading card series. Okay. There, that's looking... Oh, it's on MST3K, huh? We've been watching that, but we haven't seen... Maybe I did see it in the list available. Come on, focus. I'm going to put him down. Clean the brush. And where'd that... Here it is. So I haven't seen the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode of This Island Earth, but I have seen the movie. Let's, I'm going to hit him with the hairdryer. Sound incoming! Cha-cha! All right. Now what do I want to did? Well, you know me, I like a good metallic paint. Although we do also have color shift, so let's see what my options are here. Nope, not touching that yet. And do we have... Oh, I didn't pull out the actual flat matte teal, aqua. I actually want to go to Haunted House more than I want to go to aqua. Who knows that one? The tracks you've only seen... Oh, that tracks you've only seen the original, and I've only seen it lampooned by puppets. All right, we got our color shift, purple flash. Where is our... you know what, I'll dry brush. Again, I want to protect the egg. That's from something, isn't it? I mean, I know you just generally have to protect eggs. All right. So let's see how this dry brush goes. Oh, music got intense. That means that's it for Martin Short. What, do you get like a piece of his cheek bitten out or something? Come on, folks. You got to remind me of the exact plot points of Mars Attacks. All right. Pop-Tart break. Paint the alien, eat the Pop-Tart. Paint the alien, eat the Pop-Tart. And yeah, my hands are filthy with paint. I'm eating Pop-Tarts, room temp, with my bare hands. Folks, I hang out in my boiler room. It doesn't matter. Okay. You know what? Let's do a purple wash to get some of those shadows back. And this will also, I think, bring us closer to the color of the wild berry frosting. Yeah, this is a dark, it's just called purple. Bog standard purple. A nice Jack Nicholson Joker coat purple is how I think of this paint. Let's get our sticky cork back. All right, so I'm going to take this dark purple wash and there we go. Look at that. Blot away some of the excess. What other temperature would you eat Pop-Tarts at? I have in my adulthood started throwing them in the old toaster oven. But that does take so long. And a lot of times I need a Pop-Tart stat. Can you microwave them? I don't know why I always assumed that would be bad. Like, as in dangerous. Heck, irresponsible. But I don't know. Tell me, can you microwave a Pop-Tart? There we go. Cool. All right. Focus, my dude. Come on. Focus. Well, you can see the color anyway. I'm just getting the purple in between all the veins, and I think we will just paint the veins manually. Okay. Set him down for a second and clean your brush and eat some more of that Pop-Tart. I keep almost dunking the paintbrushes in this, and I keep almost drinking this. And no, switching the locations of them won't help. It didn't before. It's just gonna keep happening, folks. And every time I drink paint, you get money. I'm not honoring that. I'm just quoting a show. Freezer Pop-Tarts, eh? Yes, you wouldn't microwave Pop-Tarts in the foil wrapper. Maybe for a couple of seconds would do the trick. No, folks, don't do that. Don't ever microwave a foil wrapper. That would have been mighty irresponsible of me to just leave that joke hanging. Let's quit yapping and start blow drying. Shucks. I mean, we shouldn't be shocked, but I'm considering working some hot pink into the mix here. No, because I think that'll throw off the Wildberry Pop-Tart. I don't know. What do I have that's lighter purple? We could go back into that. Or we had, which one is this? We got metallic, not color shift. Metallic plum. And amethyst. Just, using a 2/3 eaten Pop-Tart for color reference. It's a good thing you people all know me. Jack and I are currently your Statler and Waldorf. What does that make Baby Aaron then? Well, I guess Kermit. She's a little frog. dry this guy off. Okay. God, I gotta really scooch in here. Oh, she's asleep. Good for you guys. You did it. You made it. The baby slip. We'll get some hot pink in there at some point, in some form. Fear not. Okay. Gotta make some more decisions now. Gotta finish that first tart. I'd love to call out of work and say, hey, I got PT. And they say, sure, thinking physical therapy. And it's just me eating Pop-Tarts all day. Where is the paint I'm looking for? I bet it's right in front of me. Who's calling it? I'm not looking down yet. Not until I've pulled up every paint bottle like checking a carton of eggs. Up, 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 up. Nope. You've already looked at that one. Nope. Okay, is it just right here? Is it that aqua? I thought I had another. There it is. Turquoise. Right in front of me. Who was right? Probably all of you. You all know me. No iron a living. I'll find this paint for you, but it won't be easy. That's it. Jaws. But it's me trying to catch a bottle of paint that's right there. Come on, where's, oh, fine. We'll use my fine brush. I'm sorry, I really didn't plan that. I heard the pun. I was aware it was coming out as a pun, but I'd already formulated the sentence. I really had no choice, and it was not my intent. I'd like to apologize to my parents, to Jack and Grace and their sleeping child. To apologize to the American people. Not for this. Painting the veins of an alien, eating the Pop-Tarts on screen. Painting the veins of the alien, painting the veins of aliens munching on Pop-Tarts. For reference, painting the veins on a mutant. I just made that up right now. God, I loved veins as a kid. They fascinated me. That's the whole story. No anecdote there. Just, man, veins are cool. Don't tell people I like veins, okay, folks? I wouldn't want the rumors circulating. Now he looks almost like those aren't eyelids. Like he has some sort of implants. Because they have flat sides. So we might try to do something like that. There we go. I had those lights on right in my eyes, right behind where the guy I'm painting is. It was not an eloquent sentence, but it was a true complaint of distress. I'm trying to paint tiny veins here, and I'm backlighting my own work surface. What next? So we got a little more vein texture there that we could bring out. All right, here's what we're going to do. Clean off that fine brush. So I'm going into some metallic bronze here. I don't know why I'm getting the idea that he's got these bronzish insectile mandibles here. But then the next question is, do I want to use this bronze as these lens things I'm describing? Let's try it. And you know what? We can always go back over it if I don't like it. Keeping those teal veins, of course, because that's the whole exercise. Painting an alien that tastes just like a wild berry Pop-Tart. I said looks just like a wild berry Pop-Tart. I'm not going to eat the alien when I'm done painting it. Come on now. All right, I'm going to do something, and you can't laugh, okay? I said you can't laugh. Don't know if I like it. All right, we're gonna have some cleaning up to do, but let's commit to it for now, huh? There you go. Okay, okay. Really impressed that I can paint with all the colored light around. Here's the secret, Jack. I can barely see what I'm doing. That's why I turned off the lights that were right behind the camera. We're going to go back to our, not aqua, it was turquoise. No. Turquoise. Why don't we try to set at least one of these to white. There we go. The very first time I officiated a wedding, my introduction speech was set to the opening march from this movie. The couple was aware, and they wrote the speech. And that's what I think of when I hear this music. What I need to go back and do is I have not posted to the YouTube channel my Mars Attacks bust stop motion animation painting, which was the video that started it all. It was supposed to be a one-off as a gift for a mentor who was also a big Mars Attacks fan, and I repainted kind of like the Godzilla that I posted the other day on Instagram. I painted it very badly as a precocious 12-year-old, and it sat on a shelf for a number of years, and then I decided to repaint it. It was another rare Mike Parks piece. And I wanted to finally do it justice, and I painted it. I devised the way to shoot it, which I have not replicated since, actually. I still have the device where I put it on a turntable so it's turning as it's being painted. And the end thing is just a one-shot animation sequence of it going around with a 12-year-old paint job a couple of times, so you get to soak it in, and then the process begins, and just stays like that. As I was consolidating all my files for this show, I found out I shot finished shots of that bust. And I never did like a finished shots montage because it was my very first video. I hadn't developed that style that I've been leaning into over the years. So I want to go back and do like a, God help me, a director's cut. All right. Next. Where is that hot pink? Okay. Going in, I'm working in my hot pink. We knew I would somehow. I think the character is usually seen with like bright red eyes. So that'll translate to bright pink. And you know we're going to go in with a neon pink layer. Yeah, man. I like it. Don't clean the brush in your drinking water. Don't drink the brush cleaning water. And don't eat the paint and don't eat the models when you're done painting them. I would never. I have never. Okay. Just gonna hit that with the blow dryer to let those pink eyes dry. Somebody didn't wipe properly if they got that pink eye. All right, now that I see the hot pink in there, I think I am going to do a little bit of a dry brush layer. Going back on my word, that's going to be faint. We're going to make it very subtle. Subtle. Where's my tiniest dry brush? My littlest boy. There we are. Oh, I still got another Pop-Tart, folks. That was me eating the Pop-Tart. Gonna just get as much of this pink off the brush because I really don't want to overdo it. But here we go. Just a little bit at the most bulbous points of the brain. Bulbous points, got me some bulbous points. Some fontanelles, some grooves inside my brain. Yeah, this works, this works. Okay, get a little bit more. Do another pass. Grace, I was going to defend myself and say I can see without my glasses. I just wanted to try this tool of the visor because I know people use it and they're like, hey, maybe, you know, I'm doing things the hard way. And then I realized that I am, in fact, wearing glasses underneath the visor and just like, I got, and I'll admit it. Absolutely dunked on by Grace. Wait till my therapist hears about this. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, you know what? This hot pink dry brush was a good call. It didn't jeopardize the Pop-Tart look at all. All right, now. We can clean this off. Not in your drinking water. I. All right. I think I'll just zap this with the blow dryer again. Zap it! Oh my god, it's a My Girl reference. Oh my god! Great! I haven't even seen the movie, but oh, that's... That just ruined my whole day. Come on. Okay, tighten that guy up. What else do I want to do? I want to eat some more of this Pop-Tart. I always start with the end that has frosting on it. And I always have to eat the entire edge that I commit to, because that's like opening the door into eating the rest of the Pop-Tart. I've only ever told this to my wife, and before that I kept it a secret for 30 years. Same thing with toast. You gotta eat the bottom crust, and then you can proceed within the slice of toast. It is a relief to be a normal guy. All right. I won't make you watch me eat the whole Pop-Tart. Not all at once. You're going to see me eat the whole Pop-Tart. I'll eat the whole thing at once! No. There's a blue flash metallic color shift. I put it away. We're going to use it! I just want to separate kind of the lower torso color and the claw color from the upper body. Don't dry brush onto your half-eaten Pop-Tart either. All right. I'm gonna get that, yeah. Maybe get that lip of the shoulder piece. I don't know what you'd call it. Yeah, get the claws like this. And we got a little bit of this up top. Just a little bit. Un petit peu. All right. Hey, starting to look like something. Looking like a real mutant. Okay. Next up, I want to do a black wash on those bronze pieces just to bring out the shadows. Black. A little bit of paint, a little bit of water. You got yourself a lazy wash. Okay, that's too dark. Don't worry about those pink eyes. We're gonna layer some brighter shades on there. Hey! The terrifying rumbling noise means my wife is home. It's the garage door. She's not a dinosaur or anything. Can't marry a dinosaur. My wife's not a dinosaur. And I've never been with a dinosaur. I did not have sexual relations with a dinosaur. Remember presidents, man? Okay. So I think I overdid it a little bit with that black wash, but that's okay. We're going to go back in and just highlight with some bronze. My darling! No, I'm on right now. Come say hi to Jack and Grace.
Hi, Jack and Grace.
Come say hi to the whole internet.
Oh, no, I can't.
But the people must know. They must know that I'm not making you up.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, lean in there. That's her. That's her.
Hello.
She does exist. They do exist.
I'm sorry, I got ice cream without you.
That's okay. I'm eating Pop-Tarts on camera.
Nice.
I got Wildberry Pop-Tart because Wildberry Pop-Tart because look what I'm doing.
Wow, he looks great. Oh, he's so purpley.
He's a Wildberry Pop-Tart.
Very nice. Good job, hon.
Thank you.
Good job. Bye, everybody.
Bye. I'm gonna live off that validation for weeks and weeks and weeks. I can't believe she did that. She's usually so shy. I thought for sure she would say, no way, Jose. But instead, she showed Jose the way. I don't know what idiom that is. Who's that pretty... she's not a dinosaur. Now you know. You see, that was a human wife. Not a dinosaur. What am I even doing, you guys? All right. No, I'm not going to use color shift on the eyes. We get enough color shift going on. What I do want is my neon pink to bring those eyes back out. You know what? Heck, let's use the ball stylus. Also known as a stylish ball. Oh, there you go. Yeah, look at that. Giving him some highlights. Cool. I love it. Not going to touch it anymore. That's great. I do want to bring out some more highlights on the veins. Already very thin. Aqua, how different is this from the turquoise? God, are they exactly the same? And I made that whole to-do about finding the right one. Shucks. I think this is during Jack Nicholson's presidential, his last plea to the Martians. Little people, why can't we all just get along? Earth and Mars together. God, I gotta watch that movie again. Not This Island Earth, which is the movie I should be plugging, but nah. Why did I'm not gonna use this brush. You know what, I'm gonna use this brush. Yeah, this is the Martian's got the little tear running down his cheek. Oh God, what a goofy, amazing movie. People hate it. It's the only other time outside of Batman that Tim Burton collaborated with Jack Nicholson. No, not Jack Nicholson. Okay, so I'm just treating this as like a tiny, tiny dry brush and layering on some, is it just metallic? No, it is color shift. Color shift turquoise. What do they call it? Aqua Flash. Oh, that bugs me as a DC fan. You know, Aqua Flash, that guy from the Avengers. Stumble on that joke, doofus. Okay, that's really helping the veins pop. Vein humor. Still not satisfied with the claws. So here's what we're going to do. Did you see me instinctively turn to put it in the drinking water? What's wrong with me? Some days I think maybe I do want to drink the paint water. Some days I think maybe that's what's holding me back from being really happy. I'm going to have some Pop-Tart. I have heard that having existential crash outs live on the web is really good for attracting viewers, so I'm going to try to work one in every single session. Wait. Okay, I got an idea for the next step. Come on, where's the tiny dry brush? There he is. All right, so this is the pink color shift that I just want to bring in on the claws. Yeah, didn't do a whole lot there, but that's okay because I got another idea. All right, Tom Cruise. The claws. This is some neon purple. I think I wiped too much off on the dry brush. So let's try to just coat some neon purple here, just to get some variance in the color scheme of this little guy's biology. You just want to get as much detail in there as possible, because you don't have a lot of real estate to work with. Fine, I'll throw a little bit on the brain. Oh, brain, what are we going to do tomorrow night? The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Clog the toilet. Don't you guys hate how that happens every night? Gotta stop eating them orange rinds. It's too much fiber. Okay, that's enough of that. I think it's time we painted this guy's pants. It's the third time I've said that today. And staying with our Wildberry Pop-Tart color palette, I'm going to go back into the Aqua Flash to set the base of his pants. In fact, since we did our black and white value dry brush technique, maybe I'll start this off as a wash. Because I am going to dry brush other layers on top of it. On top of it. Here's his little butt. I'm painting his little butt. There's no getting around it. It's never fun, guys. But if we didn't do it, we just have models with little bare plastic butts. You gotta paint their butts. I guess it's only really uncomfortable if you think that they're sentient creatures, which some people do. Some people do. Let's dry him a little bit. You know what I'm thinking? Just thinking back to the visual reference, I think this little bit of his face around the kind of pincer area is supposed to be a different color than the brain. Or like where the veins are red, it's usually also red, that tissue. So let's see. I'm gonna, well, I got the color shift aqua out. Yeah, that's looking right. Painting his butt. Stop calling attention to it, dude. It's gonna start to get weird. Start? Okay. Contemplating next steps. Because now the area around his mouth that I just painted is the same color as his pants. And that doesn't make any darn sense. So I gotta figure out how to change up one of them. Okay, this is a lighter matte, also called turquoise, but lighter than the turquoise that I was using. Yeah. Just gonna throw in some highlights, come on the pants using this light turquoise, diet turquoise, if you will. Didn't I buy a neon blue recently? Okay. Stand by, I want to see if I own a neon blue, or at least a glow-in-the-dark blue. Got neon green. What do I want to do to these pants, man? I got some aqua flash on his purple claw. Let's see if I can... There you go. These acrylic paints are all water-based. So you just get a little water on the brush, and you kind of gently brush it away. Make sure you're not peeling any of the paint off. All right, I can cover up that last little bit. Not crazy about that light turquoise that I just... I'm going to put that back. I don't like that thing that I just applied. We're going to go in with some, what is this called? Spring green! All right. His potassium. Was there a banana joke in the word? They're like, I don't know, Grace. I don't know. Getting some of the green color shift in there. Just to try to tie all these colors together. Because the green I just laid in is kind of clashing with the aqua. No on the neon blue, huh? I'm gonna go back in my neon pink because it's just calling to me to layer the edge of his shoulder plates. With neon pink. I figure the bright green pants have messed with the whole Wildberry Pop-Tart motif so much that we might as well go nuts with some pink. And I've seen vintage rubber masks of this creature with alternate paint schemes from how he's portrayed in the movie or on the posters. I can't remember if it's a black and white movie or a colorized movie. But that is to say, I've seen other funky variations on this guy. So, if you're going to play, play. No. I get that the Danny Elfman album is over, but we're not moving into Nightmare Before Christmas. It's not Christmas time. Here we go. Classic 1950s science fiction film music volume 1, which does feature the opening title to This Island Earth. I do think those pants are too bright. So we'll probably darken them with some sort of a wash. Let's see. This is the Them from Theme. Wait. The theme from Them. Oh, good. Nobody can hear the music. Well, we'll turn it up then. So going back to do my purple wash, just to get his feet coming out the bottom of them bright green pants, and try to match it to what we got up top. So we got that wash. I think that's all we need there. I'll try to dab some of that away. Okay. We'll let that dry. Where'd that bronze go? I'm gonna make his belt bronze too. and I know how we're going to darken those pants. And it's not what you're thinking. Oh, look at that. I still got some Pop-Tart left. Not anymore. All right. Let's go back into that neon pink. Yeah. Still not satisfied with separating the look of the claws. So let's try dry brushing some of this neon pink. That's giving me what I'm looking for. There we go. Yeah. Not give that neon pink such a hard edge there. While we're dry brushing, I'll just throw that neon pink down on his feet. I don't think this brush is going to work for the job. I'm going to take this blue aqua flash. No, blue color shift flash. Color shift blue flash. Whatever. I don't know what order it says the words on the bottle. Anyway, blue flash tends to register more gold with some yellowish tones. Even though it looks blue in the bottle, it looks blue when you dry brush it. But in practice, it reads a little brassier. So that's gonna make his. I'm gonna make his claws down here. Now, I have a bunch of ink, and one of these bottles is green ink. Is it that one right there? Sap green ink. Tastes like genuine sap. Okay. So this is what we're going to use to darken his pants. Just get a little water to thin out that one drop of ink. And we're gonna just go in right there. Well, this music coming on now is the meteor battle from This Island Earth. I think I will now have to rewatch the movie, give it a fighting chance since we've talked down upon it on this stream so much. It is technically part of the Universal Monsters canon, but in the 50s, in the Atomic Age, audiences started losing interest with the gothic trappings of the classical monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and the like. And they looked instead to the stars. And so we did get Creature from the Black Lagoon along those lines of the sci-fi terror. But we got This Island Earth. Was Universal trying to keep up with the markets? And I think they soon found that they're going to stop making monster movies for a while. Let's make room in this box. Come on. There we go. Getting rid of this wood stain. Well, not getting rid of it, but I haven't used this wood stain in some time, so when I need it, I'll find it. I won't. When I need it, I will not be able to find it. Especially if it's right there next to me. So what do we want to do now? What do we want to do now? We'll throw the hairdryer on there, because I don't want that green ink running anywhere else. Grace, I see your question. Do I have a favorite Pop-Tart flavor? Wild berry's up there because of that nostalgia factor. Growing up, it was blueberry, just standard blueberry. And now I'm not so crazy about that, now that we have such a bounty of different flavors. But the other one that I'd go nuts over is the chocolate chip cookie one, where there's no frosting, there's a chocolate drizzle, the diagonal drizzle, the veins. But the Pop-Tart itself is made from like faux cookie dough, and it's so gross and artificial and bad for you, but I love it. And those especially if you heat them up in the toaster oven. This is just nice chocolate goo, presumably the dessert treat's life force. So yeah, those are my favorites, wild berry and chocolate chip. I got into an argument with a friend about whether or not the chocolate chip Pop-Tart is really a Pop-Tart, despite the branded box, because there is no rectangle of frosting, only the drizzle. Whatever, Laura. Trying to find something that'll make his claws pop out a little bit. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? We getting jazzy? The cave from the brain from planet Arus, as in arousal? I don't know this one. And for all I know, y'all can't hear. Frosted strawberry rules. Brown sugar cinnamon gang rise up. Yes, enough about me. Tell me your favorite Pop-Tart flavors. I need to get better at that. But what do you want, folks? I grew up making monsters alone. I'm just messing around at this point, putting some color shift pink on the claws. Because I was just doing some to his foot claws. Yeah, but I'm starting to think we need something brighter and matted. Matte? Can paint be matted if it's a matte paint? I don't know. You're never alone when you have friends. That's right. And I have so many friends right here. I got Pinocchio. I got not one, but two ventriloquist dummies. So thank you. Yes, I am never truly alone down here. And of course, you, my friends, that tune in to watch me paint monsters in my basement with my dolls and dummies. Alright, I'm gonna go for, what is this, taffeta pink. Just to give the claws a little more of a worn, highlighted texture. That was way too much paint on the brush. So let's see here. Taffeta darling. Yeah. There you are, lobster boy. All right, yeah, that looks good. Now I just want to try to finalize some of the details of the face. Let's see, do we have a... Where's raw sienna? That would look good with that bronze. We do have a neon orange, but that's not appropriate for this one. Raw sienna. My Sharona by the Knack. A very gross song if you listen closely. Okay. Let's just try to directly highlight on that. Okay. So, we're kind of in finishing touches territory, by the way. That's why I'm switching out brushes and paints so quickly. Just want to try to bring out the negative space on those eyes that are not the highlights, because they did undergo a wash. Or maybe I should have just left well enough alone. Yeah, that didn't really help me too much. Let's try to undo it. But I have an idea. A dangerous idea! Just grabbing a different color ink. Not that wild. It's one little drop of magenta ink. I want to be very delicate here, because this could get messy if it gets outside of the eyes. that's a good move. Tell you what, since I got this magenta ink, let's use it to bring out the shadows of his mandibles. And heck, let's throw this ink into the veiny cracks of his shoulder carapace. And you know, if we're doing that, might as well start doing the veins on the head. Careful, dude, this is how you get carried away and do something regrettable. Yeah, this magenta ink's tying everything together. Gosh, I hope this is showing up on the camera. I am developing a wish list of equipment upgrades. While I know it's a poor craftsman who blames his tools, I admit I'm a poor craftsman, and you know what? I'm blaming my tools. No, I'm learning. I am late to this content creation party, and there's a lot of experience to be gleaned from out there. And I've never had a camera that has a nice kind of macro lens to it for working at this scale. And I got a recommendation. I commented on a miniature painting demo, and I just noted on the crisp picture quality and close-up ness. Oh God, the tight framing of the tiny miniature model. And I said, hey man, great work. And by the way, what kind of camera do you use? It was a Sony Alpha. I can't remember the exact number, but something to save up for. I tried to upgrade my system just with what I had, just reconfigure stuff that I had. So I used to have this old hand-me-down like 720p monitor up here to the right that would help me look at the YouTube studio and read the chat because I'm just working off my laptop. I said, oh, if we work off there, it's got a built-in webcam, so there's an extra camera you don't have to worry about. And, you know, you just move that monitor into your work desk. So I made this whole move, and then I'm trying to hook everything up with the software, because GoPro has its own proprietary software. This desktop is too old to have GoPro. It needs an operating system that this computer just can't handle. It turns out that this thing is from 2013. And so I said, all right, without the GoPro, let me grab my DSLR, also from 2013, and use that. Then we'll have some nice focus, and I can zoom in more than what this thing is doing up here, which I really would have liked for a guy this small. He's always looking. I'm pretty pleased. Pretty pleased. I might go and reinforce those neon pink highlights on the eyes, just since they went through the ink wash. But we can rinse that little brush. And I think we use the ball stylus, so we can just go back and do the same thing there. Blap. There's that highlight. And that one. Yeah. Good call to refresh these highlights. Yes. I do have an early recollection, speaking of This Island Earth. I don't want to flex too much, but when I was at a horror convention at age 8, I was in front of Basil Gogos' table, who was this iconic monster magazine cover artist, who did these very photorealistic portraits, but with this funky, like almost Henri Matisse type lighting. And he had a portfolio of prints that you could buy from him, and he'd sign them for you. And I'm flipping through, and he sees this little kid, and he says, "Oh, now, how many of those movies or those characters can you name?" And I start going, obviously Dracula, The Mummy, Werewolf of London, Lon Chaney Wolfman, that's Lon Chaney Jr. as The Mummy, Phantom of the Opera, and I got to This Island Earth, and I just remember blown away this artist. So I went on to become a huge fan of. In fact, my YouTube icon of the Phantom of the Opera is one that I painted based on a portrait he did of the Lon Chaney Phantom, which I got to see live in person at the Peabody Essex Museum as part of Kirk Hammett's exhibit from his copious horror art and poster collection. I'm still thinking about those claws. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Fine, we'll just try making them a more traditional claw color. But just those. They're like hooves. Which is what Doctor Who fans call themselves. There we go. If I'm just indicating where the lines of the mandibles meet. Try to bring it out a little more. Okay, don't do any more to the mouth. Oh, I'm going to do it. Got it. All right. That looks good. And I'll just do his little hooves here. And I'll have to throw a highlight on that. Got any of that magenta ink left? Yeah, hang on, I want to try something. Because the highlights on the claws are just looking too pale, so I want to bring a little more color in there. There we go, there we go, there we go. Ooh, he's almost done, folks. Those pants are still awfully green. Tell you what, let's just do a black wash to bring the shadows out a little bit more. I didn't eat them. I wasn't going to eat them. I know you thought I was going to eat them. I don't eat the models. Not even when they're this small. I know that would be the best time. There's no good time to eat a model. But I don't eat the models. All right. Black wash of the pants. Black. We still got some of that green ink, so I might just mix this black wash in with the green ink. How's that sound? This is my favorite pot because it's good for the environment. Gabish? I know one of you knows that reference. You know what? I got an idea. Now that we've darkened these pants enough, I might go back to my original Aqua Flash. Reclaim the Wildberry Pop-Tart mission. Get that hair dryer! Now, there's Aqua Flash right in front of me. Watch me lose it between now and when I need it. Ha! I just proved most of you wrong, probably. Now, where'd I put that Aqua Flash? Ah, there. Okay. Give me these pants. Because this also is pretty accurate to the color the pants actually are. So I'm remaining true to the original design in this one way. But in the original design, his pants are this color and his skin is like almost this color. So it's like, I mean, I saw somebody do this the other day at the gym, somebody wearing nude leggings. Just looks like you're Pooh Bear in it. So I went and dry brushed in, but I'm just gonna highlight some points. Of course, I'm starting with the ass cheeks. That's where I was. That's where I already was. You gotta paint their butts. Ooh. Ah. We're very close to being done. I can feel it. We're very close. Where's... Uh-oh. Show me butterscotch. Do we have it down here now? Come on. I swear, if it's already out here, I know I used it earlier today, but I thought I put it back. There it is, butterscotch, found it. Jack snickered. Meat Mandible would be a great band name. It would, and is. Step 2 is we all gotta learn instruments. What did Jack snicker about? That fella's always snickering at something or other. Alright, this is gonna be... Yeah, don't try to dry brush it, just highlight it. Also, we gotta clean some brushes. Dude, you're getting careless. This one. Didn't want to go that heavy on the dry brush there. Now it looks like he's got a chicken beak. And while I know everybody loves a chicken boy, that's not what I'm going for with this guy. So where's my transparent brown ink? Transparent burnt sienna, that's what I meant. Same brush, there it is. Just gonna go in at the edges. And that ink will just creep inwards up those grooves in the mandibles. The meat mandibles! The mandible meat. The mandibles for the meat. That reminds me of a great short film, I think adapted from a science fiction prose story that I recommend everyone look up. Not while I'm on. But a short film called They're Made Out of Meat. And it's got actors you'll recognize, two of them. One of them is the great and recently late Tom Noonan, who I got to meet one time at a convention. At Schiller Theater, of course, the self-same convention where I impressed the pants off of Basil Gogos, not literally. Ba-da-ba-da. And the other guy is comedian Ben. It'll come to me. He's the cash cab guy. Very good comedian. But yeah, they're made out of meat. All right. Take a look. I think he might be done. I don't think I've ever done one of these little Bandai guys in one sitting. I'm going to give a little more highlights back to the claws. What did you have? You had butterscotch. Don't get carried away. You see how even saying it out loud to myself doesn't stop me? The suspenseful music is really not helping. You're totally in control of these circumstances, dude. I don't know what you're complaining about. complaining about nothing. He's done now. That boy's done. All right. I'm going to bring him over. Behold, my tiny Metaluna Mutant. Come back. I'll take some finished stills of him and put him on the old Instagram. Let's take him off the old Sticky Tack cork. He's good. Oh, he's beautiful. Look at him. Looks just like a wild berry Pop-Tart. Looks a lot like a wild berry Pop-Tart. It came out good. Now, before we move on, close up our last bottle of paint. Let's see, what brush were we just using? This guy, make sure he's clean. Before we wrap up, I got to pick my next little Bandai guy. Where is it? Aha. So here's the box as it came to me. So let's see. I'm just going to count quickly how many of these I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, this is the 10th. I've actually done most of them. Oh, man. I'm near the end. All right. Oh, don't look, don't look, don't look. All right. I have touched one, and let's see. Let's see if I can tell by feel who it is. Well, don't look at the picture. That's cheating. Screw it. Oh, this will be good. It's Alfred Hitchcock. You see him? And this is good because one of the other little guys in here was Norman Bates, who I've already painted in grayscale. So I imagine I'd probably do something similar with Hitch. I'll have to figure that out, but that's for another episode. So I think I'm about ready to sign off here, folks. Some of us have your number. Good. You can do a call-in show sometime. I barely figured out how to get this stream going. This is my second stream today. And the first one I invited specific friends to because I was finishing painting their Christmas gifts that I started streaming back in December, January. So I didn't even get their Christmas gifts done by tax day. And I invited them to the stream and all this, and then I was having tech difficulties, and I had to start a whole new stream, but it defaulted to private, so I just sat there with an empty audience, very frazzled, but it warmed me up, and I learned a lot how to get past those hurdles, and I came back here today to capitalize on that progress. I also, in the garage, have a brand new 23-inch monitor that I'm going to put where this iMac that you can't see is. That I'm going to put where this iMac that you can't see is. I'm going to put where this iMac is. Right? Right? That's grammar. Right? Or is it grandpa? I don't know. Yeah, I've upgraded that setup, and then it's going to take some savings to get the camera that I want to get. But I want to thank you all for joining me. It's so hard to get people to come down to this basement lair. I can't imagine why. I'm so approachable, as are my ventriloquist dummies. And you can't even see the haunted bisque clown dolls on the shelf behind you. But they're there. They're there. Thank you for coming down to my crypt full of kits. And remember, be a weirdo, not a creep. I will see you all soon, and it won't take so long this time around.